Have you ever had an issue though where you felt a challenge, or you've had to make an effort to say yes to his willingness, or to make an effort to want to bother letting him, like, even though he's super willing and you're grateful he's willing, it's still sometimes a thing to put the energy forth. Since having kids, I've found times some of what would probably be considered my best, it doesn't necessarily feel that way to me. Some of my orgasms come very close. I mean, our pain and pleasure centers are to sometimes feeling like childbirth, of like breathing through it, actually letting the sensation come of letting go enough to get there. Those can all be factors, and it's super individual, right? That's my thing at the beginning, like can't possibly touch on all scenarios, but and I think too, it can be completely fine for a night to be like, no babe, it can be just you, like I'm good with a quickie, like let's just go to sleep soon. That's totally fine. And saying no is fine, and saying I'm too tired is fine, and all of those things, and you have to find the right balance. I posted recently, I don't know if you guys know who Jen Hatmaker is, but she had Celeste Holbrook is a sexologist, and she had her on the podcast, and brilliant podcast.
Title.
Oh yeah, right. Brilliant podcast, and they talked about a lot of the things, and she refuses, Celeste, the sexologist, refuses to answer the question of what's the normal amount of sex to be having, or a good amount of sex to be having, because that's up to every relationship, and she refuses to put any other standards out there that we're all just comparing. Always already
And
doing.
at what point in your life is
Right.
anything that
It's
consistent?
Right, like what's a normal
You
good
have sex
amount
every
when your
night
baby's
or twice a day, and then not have sex for 3 weeks.
right. Right.
Or you have a child,
And then
like,
things are very different for the next 6 months to a year, probably. So yeah, so she refuses to even answer that question, which I thought was great. Trauma can obviously take a lot of pictures too: emotional, physical, verbal, mental abuse, and I think a key part is when your yes is yes and your no is no. That gets even muddier with a spouse, because when you're not really in the mood but you say yes, but then you're resenting it, they don't have a clue about any of that. So where's that play into it? That's really on us. And again, back to that asking, receiving, communicating, being honest about how we're feeling in that moment. And so those are more the underlying pieces I encourage women to work on. And I mean, I've worked on clients that have endured a lot of different kinds of trauma.